We can start right with that. Welcome to Speak on It, y'all. Another episode of Speak on It. Look at me, I'm looking rough this morning. Anyway,
Join the club, bro. Join the club.
make sure, listen, let people know we live, right? On Sunday, we'll be live on Facebook and on YouTube. Make sure you follow and subscribe to our YouTube channel and our Facebook page. Let's jump right into it. We were just talking about it. I want to start off talking about the Chauncey Billup comments about AI. Um, his comments is crazy, right? His comments, just the way he was using, he was saying, and I guess the way he was comparing this because him and AI both went to Denver. AI's impact on Denver and Chauncey Billups' impact on Denver. That is where he wanted to compare. So I want to pull up the comments real quick. To be exact, I know. He was saying that if AI should be a scoring champion, I mean, if AI should be is in the Hall of Fame, then he should be in the Hall of Fame. And the quote he said, "Well, I won the championship. AI didn't.
I beat the Lakers.
I beat the Lakers 4-1. He lost the Lakers 1-4.
4-1. And then he said, what did he say? I got a finals MVP. He's got a regular season MVP. Like,
then he said,
I don't know. I don't know if the quote is legit or not. I don't know if it's real or not. You know what I mean? So let's first say that I don't know if the quote is legit from Chauncey. I didn't hear it from him. This is just a quote that was on some meme or whatever. But if he said this, this is how we feel about it.
This is how we feel. I love Big Shot. Not knocking it, but if he did say this, I have to lose some kind of respect for him. And listen, it's going to show in my take this morning. So he also said I went to Denver, and listen, all the sports talk shows is talking about it. You know what I mean? In Philly. So I don't know if it's real or not, but they rolling with it like it's real. So he also said he went to Denver, led them to a conference championship. AI got knocked out in the first round. I want to say twice. So I want to dissect all of this. So I want to start with just the draft, right? This is why this is where I kind of compare them. AI got drafted 96 to be the guy of a franchise. Chauncey Billups got drafted 98, I think, to be the guy of a franchise. AI went number 1 overall pick. Chauncey Billups, you went 3rd overall pick, brother. AI stayed with his franchise and carried that franchise by himself. He stayed with his franchise. He did his job. He got drafted as the guy. They built around him as the guy. And he's delivered as the guy with his franchise, the 76ers. Chauncey got drafted to Boston. Number 3 overall pick to be the guy. Couldn't do it. So I want to start right there. To compare your journey and AI journey, AI had high expectations from the rip and exceeded those expectations from the jump. Chauncey, you had high expectations from the jump. You were the number 3 overall pick. You didn't live up to those expectations from the jump. So that's my first take. You couldn't even be the guy coming out. This man was the guy coming out from the jump. So from that standpoint, to me, you can't even say you're in the same class as AI because he was bred the guy in let's be real, in probably the greatest draft class ever. Probably the greatest draft class ever. That 96 draft class. It's only one person out of that 96 draft class you would probably say AI is not better than. And I'm gonna keep it real with you. It's borderline because he played with a all-time great. If you switch the team, if you switch the players, if AI is playing with Shaq, do they win 8 straight? Do they win 5 straight, 6 straight? Like,
No,
listen,
I don't even know if they win those 3 straight.
I definitely think they win those 3. Definitely would think they win those 3.
Not with Kobe's. I think you're underestimating Kobe's defense. What he does defensively.
Mm.
I think you are. Like AI plays no defense.
He played passing lanes.
He plays no defense, but like you thinking San Antonio, you thinking Portland, you thinking Sacramento. I don't know if AI is able to first of all, I don't know if he's able to handle the physicality of the West for 82 games. I don't know if he's able to handle that for 82 games. Well, do they get a ring? Absolutely. They get one. But I don't know if they win 3 straight. Kobe's what he did defensively and the physicality of the West back then. I don't know if AI could handle it. I don't know if he could withstand it.
Okay, let's flip it. Shaq come to the Sixers. They win 3.
They still got to eventually see one of those teams out west.
I think. Listen,
and San Antonio, Sacramento, even if you for some odd reason, the Dallas team with Dirk and Mike Finley and Steve Nash, if they were to eventually come out, like there was a lot of teams out west that I still think that AI's inability to defend at an elite level 1-on-1 would hinder them from repeating as a champion. But they'll get one just because this AI is Shaq. I'll give them that.
I got you. I think they win. I think they win a few. You know what I mean? And there's no knock on Kobe. I take Kobe.
No, I'm not.
Yeah. Kobe's an all-time great. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think out of that class, Kobe, we can legit say Kobe is the greatest out of that class.
Yeah,
the greatest out of that class. AI is, to me, is the second greatest out of that class. But I also think that AI was a dog. You know what I mean? He was just
Chauncey is a guy that needed time to develop. Like he had multiple stops before he got to Detroit.
Yep.
Like he went from, I think he played in Minnesota. I think he played in Denver.
He did
before he got to Detroit. So like he had multiple stops before he got to that position. But at the same time, he wasn't the superstar on that championship team. Now, he was a main reason that they went to 6 straight conference finals. They went to 6 straight conference finals. I'll give them that. But that was a complete team effort. Ben Wallace was winning Defensive Player of the Year multiple times during that run. It was Rasheed Wallace that really took them over the top in 2004. So, and then again in 2005, they went back to the finals, but they lost to the Spurs. So, like Chauncey, he was a major reason. He had he hit big shots. I'll never say that. Good, like I said in the post, he's a jack of all trades, master of none.
I agree.
He's a jack of all trades, master of none. When you think of him, you're gonna think the 2004 Pistons. You're not gonna think Chauncey Billups all-star. Like you're gonna think, man, 2004 Pistons, that was a great team. To me, and I'm getting ready, and I'm not knocking him for it, but he's a better version of Derek Fisher.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? He's a better version of Derek Fisher. That's just be real. He's a better version of Derek Fisher. You know what I mean? So I don't think Chauncey's a Hall of Famer, but somebody brought up something that was interesting. And it was like, well, if people think Kyle Lowry is a Hall of Famer, then you should think Chauncey Billups is a Hall of Famer. And then I got to thinking, and I got to looking into the numbers, and I'm like, oh, they actually have a case because Chauncey's numbers are better than Kyle Lowry's.
This is what I'll say. I think that that is that's a great argument. That's a great case right there. I do think Chauncey is a famer. I do think he'll get in, just like I think that um, Kyle will get in. I think Kyle gets on the merit of um, he's the greatest in the franchise history. If you think of the Toronto Raptors, they're going to say he's the greatest Toronto Raptor ever.
That's debatable.
Well, most people are going to say he is. I mean, even if
Because he got the championship.
even if you say it is, and I mean, and it's a young, I'm not gonna say it's super young. I mean, but it's still relatively younger franchise.
Yes.
Like Vince, when I think of Vince played in Toronto, but I also think that he didn't spend as much years as Chauncey did. I mean, as Kyle did. I think if Vince, when he was in his prime, was the championships in Jersey. I think of him in there, yeah, I mean, because he was in his prime. He was winning championships with the back-to-back championships with. Well, actually, I don't know if he went to back-to-back.
He'd never been to the finals.
What's his name went? Richard Jefferson, them, right?
Vince never went.
It was Richard Jefferson, them. They went back-to-back, and then they added Vince.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Vince never went to the final. That's why when I think Vince, I think Toronto. After that, he turned into a journeyman, in my opinion, because it was just stop after stop after stop after stop after stop after stop for Vince. So when I think of him as a Toronto Raptor. So that's why I say he's the best Toronto Raptor I've ever seen. Now, he might be the best player to wear the jersey, but I think Kyle probably will have the greatest legacy because of what he's done and the consistency that he's had that franchise in during his tenure there. So I'll give him that.
The thing about it, when they start saying the greatest all time, I was saying like, dang, third, Kyle probably fourth, because for me, and then when you dig into his numbers, I'm like, dang, Kyle really is the greatest of all time in Toronto, because he's been there consistently for a minute. They've always won consistently. I mean, they were winners. They couldn't get over the hump for a little bit until LeBron left. But for me, I'm with you. Like, Vin, I thought of DeMar DeRozan, because he was putting up numbers there. I thought of Chris Bosh, but Kyle Lowry is Mr. Toronto right now. So I think that when you look and take that into account, Chauncey, and then you look at Chauncey and Detroit, because that's where you're gonna know him at. You're gonna think of him as a Piston. Is he on Mount Rushmore in Detroit? I don't think he's on Mount Rushmore in Detroit.
I'm gonna say this just because of the personalities of the bad boys. That's gonna be it. If you're talking about basketball wise, he should be on there.
Should he?
Yeah, he should be on.
All right, let me think of, again, we're gonna go Mount Rushmore. You're gonna take those two guys. You're gonna take that backcourt. You're gonna take Joe. You're gonna take Isaiah.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna take. I don't think Chauncey's the best player on his team, so I'm gonna take Ben Wallace.
Okay.
Then
no, it doesn't. You take Grant Hill.
There you go.
Okay, you take Grant Hill. So, but me, you're taking that. It's kind of to me. It's like you kind of have to take two bad boys. Right? That's what I'm saying. Like, you feel like you have to take two bad boys. Like, you feel like you have to take two bad boys because of the legacy. Because of the legacy of that backcourt. Right? See, for me, I'll take Chauncey over Joe.
I can't, because Joe was the one that defended everybody.
I feel you. But at the same time, I feel like I gotta take two guys from that 04 team that made that run.
See, they didn't win two. They won one.
See, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But I feel like Chauncey's run.
You think Chauncey's better than
Chauncey's Joe? No, I don't think he's better than Joe. Okay. But I think his importance to that run of 6 straight conference finals 6 straight conference finals, I think that is more important than the Bad Boys run. But it's the legacy of the Bad Boys because they beat Jordan up, they groomed Jordan, they had to go through Magic and Bird. Like that's a great legacy. Like you feel like you have like you like, man, they had to go through all of that. So I don't have no problem with you putting Joe in that. I just would put Chauncey in that person just because I also witnessed it too.
Even looking at the numbers, I'm like,
but no, Chauncey's not better than Joe at all. I don't think Chauncey's better than Joe.
Like, okay, Chauncey numbers looking better than Joe Dumars numbers.
Yeah.
Chauncey, I mean, Joe also had another score.
He had a superstar beside him in the back in the backcourt. So I always felt like Joe, he had no choice but kind of had to defer to Isaiah. But I thought Joe was a much better offensive player than his numbers represent. Because then when they started getting over the hump, they also had Mark Aguirre. They brought in Adrian Denton. They brought in other legit scorers too. So he always had to share the ball. So I don't think his numbers ever reflect how good Joe Dumars actually was.
So I think the bottom line is that we come to the conclusion. I think
I just think Chauncey chose the wrong person to compare his career to. That's my conclusion.
Yeah.
Like if he had picked another person, people might have been like, Chauncey, man, yeah, you should be in the Hall of Fame. But you picked the wrong guy.
You picked the wrong guy to go.
You picked the wrong guy, man. You picked the wrong guy.
Ballot right there.
Like that's unquestioned. Like there's no question. When you hear Allen Iverson, you like Hall of Famer.
Man, I should be in over AI.
Like you chose him. Why him?
What?
Of all the guys, he just chose the wrong person. I don't care. There was so many other people you probably could have picked, and you just chose the wrong guy.
Like you said, over T Mac. That's debatable to me too. Over Yao. This is what I'm saying real quick, and we'll move on. And I got another question for you. But outside of injuries for T Mac and Yao, that's what hindered them. Like when we talk about Blake Griffin and them not getting to.
I can't say that. Nope, I'm not going there. T Mac was healthy in a lot of those playoff first round exits. So what?
He got
so what, man? He is still Tracy McGrady, bro.
It wasn't like
he's still Tracy. I'm not saying he was going up against trash. I'm not saying that, but you can't blow 3-1 against the Pistons.
Come on, bro. It was nobody on that Orlando team.
He was up 3-1. There wasn't nobody on his team, and he was up 3-1. I'm not trying to hear it.
Kobe was up 3-1 against the Suns. He lost.
So what? Kobe also got multiple rings. So
yeah,
that don't mean anything.
T-Mac didn't have all-time greats with him every time he went up against a good team. His running partner wasn't there.
Bro, all I'm saying is one time. I'm not saying he had to do it multiple times. He couldn't get out of the first round once.
He did with the Spurs.
No, bro, he was getting like 2 minutes in game. That don't count at all. Pop was just trying to get him a ring so people could get off his back.
He didn't get that out.
And he couldn't even get that. So T-Mac to me, he first of all, he was like my third or fourth favorite player all the time. So always had love. I used to debate with people all the time, man, that he was better than Kobe.
He was.
I used to debate all the time, like, yo, there was no flaw in this game, in my opinion, other than defensive effort. He didn't give the effort defensively that Kobe gave. Kobe was locked in defensively from jump ball to the fourth quarter buzzer. He was locked in. Mac took time off every now and again. But anyway, T-Mac for whatever reason, I know health, whatever you want to say, he just couldn't get it done. It just never happened. It never happened.
I agree.
If you want to say it's health, then I can knock him. I can still knock him. Like, well, that's not my fault that he couldn't stay healthy. It's not his fault that he can't stay healthy either. But it's just the truth of the matter is he couldn't get out of the first round. That was my only knock on him as far as being You know what I mean? Like people was just like, yeah, he's guaranteed Hall of Fame. And I'm like, the numbers say it, man, but man, sometimes you gotta have a little success.
Listen,
Like the numbers are incredible. It's a short period as well. It wasn't a long run, it was a short, very short period. Very short period.
T-Mac is a famer.
Absolutely.
But
the name has made him a Hall of Famer. The name made him a Hall of Famer. The reputation made him a Hall of Famer. It was a very, very, very short window, and it was all numbers, no success.
He was in the playoffs, man. Even if he was getting knocked out, he was in the playoffs. And he was scoring champs.
Yes, again, the numbers was a very short window of great individual success. There's no question about that. Very short window.
Even in that era, you needed a running mate, and that he did not have.
Absolutely. Again, I'm not. It's not his fault. Grant Hill got hurt. It's not his fault. Yao Ming got hurt. It's not his fault that he was hurt. It's not. But the truth of the matter is that it happened.
That's the truth. I got you. I understand. I got one more question for you on this topic, and then I want to ask you something else. If AI is on those Piston teams, you sub Chauncey out, you put AI in, do they win multiple championships?
No.
Do he get the one?
Probably not.
Man, AI win multiple championships. We're gonna debate that. Fans,
yo, man, like AI chemistry wouldn't have worked, man. He had upgrade. Don't get me. They are all upgrades to what he had in Philly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're playing with the same coach. It's Larry Brown. Can AI buy into team basketball? Because I don't see those guys buying into AI do all the scoring and all we do is play defense. I don't see them buying into that.
I don't think he needs to. I think they play.
That's what he wants. I think that's what he wants.
I think that's what they built for him and with the Sixers. I think that Ben Wallace and them boys, they played defense. Regardless, that's what they was going to do.
Yeah.
AI was going to just add to what they already did. Play defense. AI was going to give you 30 a night.
Okay. So what you're saying is, so who are they beating? They're beating this. Are they beating the Lakers in 03?
Yes.
They're beating the Lakers in 03. Oh, I'm sorry. Did they beating the Spurs in 03?
Yes.
They're sure about that?
Yep.
They're going to beat the Spurs in 03.
They're the pieces.
Because they're going to beat the Nets. They're going to beat the Nets. They're going to beat the Nets.
Yes.
You add AI, they're going to beat the Nets.
Yes.
That Nets team isn't good.
No.
That Nets team was trash.
They're good.
Dude, they got 4-0 in the finals the 1 year, and then the next year they should have got 4-1. They got 4-2. But they beat the Nets. Yes, they beat the Nets. That's why I said they beat the Nets. Yeah. No question about that. They beat the Nets to get to the finals. I don't see them beating the Spurs. Popovich is not going to allow AI to get off.
The Spurs,
which means it's going to be the other guys having to score. They already told Sheed he had to get out. They ran Sheed out of the West already because he couldn't get over them. He couldn't get past Shaq. He couldn't get past the Spurs. So they already shipped him out to Atlanta and then Atlanta to Detroit. So no, they're not worried about him. AI is the only factor on that team. So you have to lock in on him because he's going to be the offensive factor. Allen Iverson's not playing team basketball.
You couldn't stop him. You couldn't stop him. I don't care.
My man. They're not gonna stop him. But Greg Popovich is gonna find a way to contain him. That's what he does.
Contain the AI still mean like 30.
They still don't have it, and they still don't have an answer for Tim Duncan.
They had Ben Wallace in them.
Ben Wallace is no match for Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan is Shaq. He's Kobe. There's no answer for him. AI can be contained because AI is a volume scorer. He needs a lot of shots to get off, especially against good defense. Good team defense, they're gonna put him, make sure he goes where they want him to go. Popovich is gonna bottle him up, and down the other end, you need Chauncey because you need Chauncey because who's guarding Tony Parker?
The boy off the bench.
Rick off the bench.
I'm gonna throw Lindsey Hunter on him.
You gonna throw Lindsey Hunter on him? So okay, so when Lindsey Hunter comes in, who comes off the floor? AI. So
AI.
hold on. So I'm confused. So AI, if AI is starting, Tony Parker's starting. Or are you starting Lindsey Hunter? So AI does have to defend Tony Parker at some point in time.
I'm gonna tell you this. You know, AI would
defend
30. No,
Tony Parker is gonna be the Finals MVP.
He's gonna
defend because AI is defending him.
He's gonna defend.
AI is defending him.
He's gonna defend
AI out of his own mouth said he's not a good on the ball defender. That's not his thing
because he's small.
Tony Parker.
Because he's small.
Tony Parker led the league in points in the paint.
I agree.
And now he's got a defender in him that's not good. Come on, man.
Listen,
MVP.
I think
MVP, bro. MVP of the finals. They beat him. They beat him in 03. They're not gonna beat that Lakers team in 04. They needed Chauncey's leadership, bro. I think AI is great. AI is great. AI is not a good leader.
He's not
a good leader. He's not
a good vocal.
He's not a good vocal leader. He's gonna show up. He's gonna give you everything he's got. He's gonna lead by example. He's gonna get you. He's an energy guy. He's gonna give you all of that. But bringing guys in, focus. Let's go. Putting guys in the right place. That's not who he is. That's not who he is. That's Chauncey. Chauncey's a quarterback, and you're gonna need that quarterback.
I agree with that.
Shaq, Kobe. They needed that leadership to beat that team. They needed that on the floor leadership. They can't beat the Lakers. And then they're gonna have to play the Spurs again in 05. Same thing. It's the same thing happening. No.
All right. I still think AI, but
it proved the point in Denver.
Nah,
it proves the point in Denver. They went from the AFC. They went from the AFC with AI, get swept in 08, in 09. They're the 2 seed with Chauncey.
Yeah,
they lose to the Lakers. They lose to the same Lakers team, but they don't get swept.
But with a growing, so I think a lot when he uses that point, that was also like this narrative because that is a growing Melo. Melo came back a different player the next year. He came back a different animal next year, and I do agree with you that Chauncey's leadership, because Chauncey, it's like what Shaq did with D Wade in the finals. Listen, you got to be the guy. Like we told him, you got to be the guy, bro. D Wade, he put the mantle of this is your team on D Wade. Chauncey put the mantle of this is your team on Melo. So I'm with you. AI needed to say. AI's always wanted to be this. I'm the guy.
It's either gonna be me or us. It's not gonna be just you.
Yeah. And Chauncey said, "Listen,
you the guy.
You the guy.
You the guy. Everything goes through you.
Yep.
I'm gonna make sure everybody is where they need to be in order for you to get what you need to get for us to be successful." Yeah. AI is a scorer. Chauncey's a point guard.
He's a point guard. I agree with you on that. All right. I heard something else on the talk before we get into our itinerary because we didn't even jump into that. But they keep debating, right? The Jordan, Bron, and stuff like that, right? And everybody keeps saying, well, the argument for Jordan or just any great, right? They bring up rings. And everybody like, you have to be a ring to be an all-time great. So I wanted to ask you, if we took away rings, just took away rings, so that way that can't be the debate, that can't be the argument, who would be your GOAT still?
It's still MJ.
Thank you.
Because to me, the ring argument, it's the record more so. But you can't knock LeBron for getting there more times. You can't knock him. He got there more times. So to me, the ring argument It's just more so the record 6-0, 4-6. That's it. That's it. But outside of that, just when you watch a game, when I watched it too, my eyes tell me it's Michael Jordan. I seen him take over games and dominate and win. LeBron, to me, is better when he's magic and facilitating. And not necessarily has to be the dominant scoring guy. Now, I also seen MJ take over games defensively. Not just one chase down block, and that be the moment. I seen MJ get it. Stop, bucket, stop, game winner. I've seen it. And I've seen LeBron do similar things as well. But for me, it's all about the dominance. And then the success within the dominance. LeBron has had dominant moments, but when you bring up his dominant moments, you can't say he dominated in that then what was it, 2018 finals? Yeah, his numbers was off the chain. He got swept. It wasn't his fault. This team was trash. This team was absolute trash.
The team went trash.
He got swept. His team had no business being there, but he is so good, he drug them there. Sorry. Now, and I'm going to say this, and I'll say this again. I don't think MJ could do what LeBron has done. What LeBron has done as far as dragging these bum teams to the finals like that, MJ could have done that, but MJ not going to beat those Warrior teams either.
He's not.
He's not beating those Warrior teams with those teams. Are they going to get to the finals? Yeah. MJ not going to go out there and average a triple-double while doing it. You know why? Because he know they're not going to win. So you know what he's going to do? He's going to probably average 50. That's what he's going to do. He's not going to go out there and try to average a triple-double. MJ's a scorer. He's going to go out there and average 50 and go down and shoot. Kobe, same thing. Triple-doubles, that's not on their mind because that's not going to help them win.
Yeah, it's not that. I mean, I don't think they can't do it.
But they could do it, but that's not going to help them win. LeBron feels as though me getting everybody involved is going to help us win. MJ and Kobe, me going out here and getting 50 tonight is probably our best course of action to win this game. So that's the way that they're going to go about it. It's just two different ways to get to the same goal. The only difference is the end result is going to be the same. The Warriors is going to get them out of there immediately. But all of them are good enough to drag those teams through the Eastern Conference that they had to go through.
I agree with you. So this is like people always like you said, ring 6-0, yada yada yada, ring. So I said we're gonna take the rings out. When I look at the numbers, 5-4 MVPs. Now,
and to me, I don't even care about that because that's a popularity contest, and at the end of the day, both of them probably should have close to 10.
Yep, and that's what I'm gonna say. People gonna say, "Well, LeBron can win every year. Jordan can win every year." Okay,
Jordan could have won every year. Like
4-5. It's 4-5. And Finals MVPs is 6-4. All Stars is 13-10. But let's be clear. Put things into proper context. LeBron has played 18 seasons. That's also a popularity contest. So All Stars, not really going to put any stock into that. All NBA teams. 16-11. Again, in context, Jordan played 15 seasons. Let's be real. Jordan played about 13 seasons. The two in Washington, I mean, they on his resume, but
they count.
It's like when you retire. It's like when you retire, right? And you sitting at home and you're like, man, I don't feel like sitting. I'm bored at home. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go get a part-time job. It's on your resume, but what you known for is what you retired for, right? So the Wizards is like Jordan part-time job. When he was 41 and 42, where he averaged 20-something a game also. Now all defensive teams, 5-9. That's the first teams, 5-9, 6-9. Jordan was a defender. Now, I also think that this is a popularity contest as well when it comes to LeBron, because some of them, the defensive teams. I don't know if LeBron should have made those all defensive teams. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I think that's a popular contest. Well, defensive player of the year, Jordan won nothing. LeBron, scoring champions, 10-1.
That's not a contest.
10-1.
That's not who. See, and this is the thing. This is the thing. If you talking about, and now this is what I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna be completely 100%. If you're talking about skills,
It's LeBron.
it's LeBron.
Well, I don't know, but anyway,
Size matters. When you're talking about skills,
we talking about sports, y'all. We're not talking about nothing else. They are here.
We're talking about skills. It's LeBron because his size is gonna make him a better rebounder. His size is gonna make him a more versatile defender. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you're talking about skills. It's LeBron. I've said it multiple times. I don't think LeBron is the most talented basketball player we have ever seen. He's the most talented basketball player we have ever seen. But in between those lines, impact on the game, the ability to take over games, the ability to just, and this is what I always say, LeBron makes the game easier for his teammates. Jordan makes his teammates better, which is why LeBron's teams do not have success when he's gone, because he just made the game easier for them. He didn't make them better. Mo Williams looked good with LeBron. Remember? He looked good. They won 66 games, and then all of a sudden, you didn't hear from Mo Williams anymore. Jordan leaves the Bulls. The Bulls team is still good, and B.J. Armstrong and Horace Grant become all-stars. Like, people knock Jordan for that, and I'm like, why are y'all knocking him for that? You should be saying, man, Jordan made them all-stars. He turned them into all-stars. They learned the game, but they not Jordan. I don't look at it as a knock because the team was still good after Jordan left. I'm like, yeah, that's the Jordan effect. But anyway,
it's like, just go off what you said, right? It's like me. I'm a manager. I build people. So I build a store up, turn it over to my assistant. He becomes the manager. The store still continues to be successful. Why? Because I built him up. So I'm no longer in that store. I leave, but I've left it in the great hands because I taught him how to be a professional. I taught him how to lead. I taught him how to be a leader. So now he's leading a store, right? Same thing with Jordan, like you said. He taught people how to be professionals, how to be great players, just off of his work ethic. Now he leaves the store. The franchise still is good because he taught them how to do that.
Yeah. Whereas LeBron, he does everything for everybody. He makes the job that much easier for everybody, but they don't know how to sustain that success unless they are a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie can go off and still be successful because he's a superstar. You know what I mean? But the rest of those guys, you don't really hear from a lot of those guys. Look, like Matthew Dellavedova, he had a moment playing with LeBron. And now the last time I seen him, he was falling on the ground rolling as Steph hit a three. You know what I'm saying? So, like, LeBron makes guys look good. He makes it look good because he makes the game that much easier for them. LeBron is great. Like, he's great. Like, I'm not saying that he's not great. I'm not even to me, it's whoever you want to pick. If you want to say LeBron is the GOAT, by all means go for it. I really don't care anymore. Like, yeah, because there's really no argument for it. The only thing I can do is make a case for my guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I can do. I can't knock anything. The only blemish on LeBron is the 2011 finals. That's it. It's the only knock you can have on him. And the only knock you can have on Jordan is that His teams didn't have no business being in the playoffs with a losing record anyway, and they got what they deserved in his early years. They got swept. That's what they were supposed to. They were trash. They won like 30 games, and he was in the playoffs. They had no business being in the playoffs. So that's the only blemishes you can make on those two guys, man. Like,
I agree.
that's how great they are.
I just get, I do, and I be saying all the time, we got to stop saying goat, right? Like, to me, there could be multiple goats. You know what I mean? To me, and it's all going to be based off of air. You know what I mean? Jordan, and then people want to say, well, if you put Jordan in this era, he will average 40 or 50. I don't know, because a lot of these people in this era are more skilled than when Jordan played. A lot of those players in Jordan's era, they were tougher. These players are more skilled. So again, I think there could be multiple goats. I mean, like for me, like you said, if I take away,
I think they're more athletic.
Yeah.
I don't think they're more skilled.
Okay, more athletic.
I think they're more athletic, but the game also is very basic. Yeah,
I just think
it's very vanilla.
It's different eras. Yeah, I mean, and I agree with you with the vanilla, because it's a more offensive driven game. It's not more.
It's ISO and pick and roll, drive and kick,
threes or layups.
That's it. That's all. That's all the game is. You don't really see a lot of sets and everything like that. Like, for the most part, but I think Jordan will be successful in this era? Absolutely. Could he average 40 or 50? No, he's not gonna average 40 or 50. But he averaged 35 in a real physical era. And he can average 30. He can average 35 in this vanilla era. He'll average 35.
He'd be
a 30. He'll be a perennial 30 game scorer.
I agree.
Every year he's gonna average 30. I
agree. Like even with Kobe, people talking about with Kobe, take the rings away. I'm still probably gonna take Kobe and Jordan over LeBron, even taking out the rings. And for me, I think it's just preference. What you're saying, it's just preference.
Yeah. I would take Kobe over LeBron, because I'm gonna take Jordan over LeBron, and Kobe is the mirror image of Jordan.
Yeah.
Again, this has nothing to do with how they won or who they won with. This is simply talking about game and mentality. I'm talking about, that's it. I feel like LeBron's mentality is more of a facilitator, and he's gonna get everybody involved regardless of who he plays with. I don't have to worry about who I'm building around with LeBron. I can plug and play him with anyone, because he can play with anyone. I have to be worried about, if I'm going with Jordan or Kobe, I have to make sure that I get the right guys around him. LeBron, I don't have to worry about that. So it doesn't matter to me, because that's just his game. He can play with anybody, because I feel as though, I know he's a small forward, but I feel as though he's the greatest point guard of all time. I know he's literally, I know he's played small forward, but to me, he's the greatest point guard of all time. He's always had the ball in his hands.
I agree. So I'm scared thinking, if I took the rings off of Magic and LeBron, who would I take? I'm
taking LeBron. I'll take LeBron over everybody but Jordan and Kobe.
I'm taking LeBron over everybody but three people. Everybody know who the third one is. I gotta say his name. It's Steph.
Who is on an absolute tear right now?
It's Steph.
Goodness. He can't miss.
I'm not saying Steph is better.
Not when he tried. That shot he hit last night.
Which one?
The and one he hit last night with the left hand.
I thought you were talking about this going to cut it down to 3.
Nah. That was crazy too. But the one when he hit the and one with the left hand was just bananas. I was just like, what the?
Yes, Steph is.
Did he really just do that?
Steph a different animal right now, man. Like, for everybody who was like, man, I don't know if Steph is the best point guard in the game. Yada yada yada, because he was injured. Sorry, Steph's the best point guard in the game. Best point guard in the game. I don't care who you put up, who you put him up against. He's better than Dame. He's better than Dame.
I was gonna like because he plays the point guard position. See, that's the thing with him. I don't really think he's a point guard.
Who?
Steph. He plays point guard, but I
Yeah.
don't think he's a point guard.
Well, I don't. If he the best two guard in the game and the best point guard in the game, who you put him up against? I don't think Dame's a point guard.
I think Dame's more of a point guard than Steph.
I don't think so.
I think Dame's more of a point guard than Steph.
I think
because to me, I think Steph, as great as Steph is with the ball in his hand, I think he's more of a threat
without it.
Without it in his hand.
That's his best skill. Without it,
like
which speaks volumes to
because he can like the way he moves like Rip, he moves like Reggie, like Ray Allen. There's just great shooters know how to move without the basketball, and that's his greatest asset. Like as great as he is off the dribble, and he is phenomenal off the dribble. I love him more when he's off the ball because even the defenders off the ball, they have to keep an eye on him. When he's got the ball, you know where he's at. When he's got the ball, you know where he's at. He's got the ball, but when he doesn't, even though your guy doesn't have the ball, you like, where is this guy, Steph? Because if I got to go close out on him, I need to know where he's at. So when he doesn't have the ball, I think he's more lethal, man.
The crazy thing is, he's the only person I've seen get doubled when he doesn't have the ball. They double this man when he doesn't have the ball. That's crazy.
Again, because he's more lethal when he doesn't have it. Because you don't know, because you got to make sure everybody has to know where he's like any great wide receiver. When he breaks that huddle, everybody has to know where he's at.
Yep.
Everybody has to know where he's at. Where is this dude lined up at? When Steph on the floor, you better know where he's at. And right now, it's even worse because you don't even have to worry about Clay. Like, wait till he gets back. Oh my goodness! If with this level of play that we get right now from Steph, it's gonna be crazy when Clay get back to 100%.
And I'm gonna tell you what's crazy about it because Steph put on weight to be able to take on the punishment and get to the rim and stuff like that. You know what I think Clay's doing? Putting on weight to be able to do the same thing. So for both of them come back,
it's gonna be some trouble.
It's gonna be crazy. All right, let's get to the itinerary real quick. All right, so first question: KD versus everybody. Responding to everyone make him soft. Me personally, I don't think him responding to everybody makes him soft. I just think KD is. I'm not gonna say KD is soft. I'm not never gonna say KD is soft. I don't know the words. I don't know the words. KD mentally is. I mean, listen, we just gotta say what it is. Mentally, KD's soft. I'm gonna just say. Mentally, like you gotta learn to let some things go, bruh. You don't gotta respond to everybody. And from what I'm hearing, he be out here responding to a lot of people in his DMs, a lot of people that his mentions. You are responding to everybody.
I like it.
I do like it, but it's still mentally soft. Like
I like it, and to me, it's exactly what everybody wants. Like it's so weird. This is the weirdest thing, right? People will say things about celebrities and different stuff, and then they be like, "You ain't got to worry about ever responding." And now you actually got a person responded, and then you mad at the response that you get. because you said something negative and now he coming at you. So to me, it's just like he's human, just like anybody else. And the people are like, well, he's a celebrity. He should take the high road. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of everybody saying that because a person is a celebrity and they're a role model that they have to always be a stand-up person. No, if that's not who you are, then don't be that person. Be genuinely who you are. And if the people don't like you, Bernie Mac said it best in House Party 3. If you don't know what he said, go look up the clip. But he said it best. If people don't like you for who you are, F them.
Listen,
And that's exactly how KD feel. People don't like me for who I am, F them. I'm gonna be who I am. People are jumping on him saying stuff and he responding. I don't think it makes him soft at all. That's who he is. If you don't want him to respond, then don't say nothing to him.
I think mentally, like I said, I don't think KD's soft at all. But mentally, just you have to have a mental toughness because, and this is where I say, I do agree with you where I don't think responding to people makes you soft. But I think that when you respond to everybody, because everybody's going to have something to say, regardless, you know what I mean? I think that's where you have to have some kind of mental toughness because that will kill you. That will weigh on you. For me to respond to everybody, it's going to wear on you. So you have to have some kind of mental toughness. Like I saw something with Steph. Steph said because Steph and LeBron are two of the biggest troll people in sport. Steph said, "Listen, I've used it as fuel. He don't respond to it, but he uses it as fuel. Maybe KD does use it as fuel, but KD responds to everything. Like I saw what he said to Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp, like, man, listen, and I don't knock him for it. I respect him for it. Same thing with Michael Rappaport. I don't knock him for those things. But I think the thing I would knock KD for is responding to everything that fans say. Those are fans. You can respond to a few of them, but to be consumed by it, that's what I'm trying to get to. If he's consumed by it, that's where you need to have a little bit tougher. But I don't think he has to be a role model to anybody. Like Charles Barkley said it. I didn't sign role model, bro. I played basketball. That's what got me here. My skill, my talent, not being a role model. I didn't sign to be a role model. You want to be a role model? Look at your parents. When role model, look at your parents. So, I'm not knocking him for being wanting to be a role model like that, and I'm not even mad at him. I do like him that he responds to people. I just don't want him to be consumed by it. And I think
I'm with you.
That's what makes what he said about this Shannon Sharp. You want to do it privately? He said, "Nah, bruh. You go on TV in front of millions of people every day to say what you say about me. Now you want to keep it private." Nah,
I felt it.
Public.
I felt it.
So
I was with him on that one.
So yeah, I don't necessarily think he's soft, but I think if he does mentally, if he responds to everybody, that's tougher. He can't respond to everybody because that'll weigh on you. Luka and Mark Cuban don't like to play in games. Of course they won't.
Because they're in them.
Of course they won't be like to play in games. Right? Like just think about this, right? And I get it. Mark Cuban and Luka, they're 7th seed. Could you imagine being a 7th seed and you got to go play Steph Curry for a playing game? Not a series. One game to get in. I got to go play that guy for one game? Nah, bro. No, I don't want that smoke. Nobody in that 7th seed. Nobody in that 7-8. I don't care if you're the Lakers. I don't care if you're Portland. I don't care if you're Utah. I don't care who you are in that 7-8. 30 shows up on your court in your gym. You scared because it's not. And I love the play game, but it's not a series. The best team is going to probably win the series, but one game, you got number 30 on your team.
It's just simple. Avoid the playing game. If you don't, and the thing of it is this: I like the playing game. They can keep it if they want to. They don't have to keep it if they don't want to. But I understand it for this year because with COVID, teams are going to be missing players. They're going to drop some games. So I understand it. But if you don't want to be in it, avoid it.
Yep.
Avoid it. Avoid it. Avoid it. And if you get in it, you better give your best. That's the only thing you can hope for. But we're not getting ready to say here and act like you're missing out on something. You still was going to be the seventh. You're still only going to be the seventh or eighth seed, and you're still going to have to go play one or the two. Like, come on. Like, we're not going to say here and act like you're going to just the fourth, fifth, or the third seed or something like that. Like, come on. You're still going to be the seventh or the eighth seed. So, I understand it. Avoid it if you don't want to be in it. But if you're in it, you just got to hope for the best.
I'm gonna tell you this. They wouldn't say this, and I'm gonna take this to bank. If 30 wasn't in 7, 8, 9, 10, if 30 wasn't in that range, and they were playing the Pelicans, and they're like, oh yeah, we good, man. Worry about it. Now listen, they should be scared of Pelicans too, but I think a lot of teams in that 7, 8, 9, 10 spot, when 30 steps in your gym,
you don't want that smoke.
You scared.
You don't want that smoke. That's all it is.
I don't care who. It could be AD. It could be a healthy Lakers team. I see him torch the healthy Lakers team. It one game. He doesn't have to beat you in a series. All he has to do is have a effortless night, and you go home.
Yeah, like he's been doing that since Davidson. Like,
yep.
Sorry. So, avoid it.
That's what
get your wins up. Get your wins up. Get yourself in that six. Get yourself in that sixth spot, and you ain't got to worry about it.
Yep. You don't Portland. I'm gonna tell you, Portland better stop slacking because he a Portland killer.
All I know is this: if I don't want to get into the playing game, I know that I got to get to the 6th seed. That's all I'm trying to get to. Let's try to get to the 6th seed. Let's make sure guys are healthy enough to get to the 6th seed to avoid that. The Lakers, they're continuing to slide a little bit. They got a big win last night, but they're continuing to slide a little bit. They better try to avoid that playing game if they need it. You know what I mean? I don't really care where they fall at. If they can get to the 6th seed, if they fall to the 6th seed, I ain't worried about them.
Not worried about it.
Because
I am worried they.
But if they get to that 7th seed, I am kind of worried about them because I'm not sure how much of LeBron and AD you're really going to be having at that point. Well, like what percentage are they going to be all the way back? So that's going to be kind of scary, even if you run into Steph with a hobbled AD and a hobbled LeBron.
I agree. I'm with you. Listen, we seen it last year. They lost the first game to Houston last year.
They lost the first game in every series, I think, last year. So
like not worried if they're in the 60s because
I'm not worried about them.
They can lose one game and they can readjust.
I still feel and I don't care about what nobody says. Healthy LeBron and AD there nobody in the West scares me.
It's only 2 games. I was scared. 2 teams I would be scared of if I am the Lakers.
And they're both out east, in my opinion.
So, and I'm talking in the West. Well, there's 2 teams in the East, but there's 2 teams I would be scared of if I'm the Lakers in the East, in the West, and that is a healthy, hungry Clippers team. Even though I think the Lakers do beat them, because I think that they're hungry, and Steph Curry. That's it. Because Steph Curry can take over a series by himself. I would be scared of that because you can't defend. Like we just had a whole segment on how you can't defend this guy. You can't defend him.
Yeah, but I don't know. 1 game, yeah, but 4 out of 7, I don't think he built for that for the Lakers.
Listen, if he
he can get you too. He can get you too.
They're on right now.
He can get you too.
I don't think he can sustain this through a whole playoff run. But if he goes on he could go on a 4 or 5 game tear and you're like, dang, And we've seen lower seeds beat higher seeds because
Yeah.
go on the tear. The one player go on the tear, he can go on that type of tear.
Yeah. But it's LeBron. It's LeBron we talking about.
I got you. I hear you. I hear it. It is LeBron.
we talking about.
It's LeBron.
That's the only thing. To me, there's no team out west that scares me if I'm the Lakers. There's no team out west. The Clippers, I don't care what they do in the regular season. I need to see what they do in the playoffs.
I got you. I'm gonna tell you another
I don't care. And Utah, I need to see what you do in the playoffs. We've seen this act before. The only team, in my opinion, and I was feeling them until the Jamal Murray injury.
We lost Jamal. I was just gonna say
the Jamal Murray injury, and I'm like, oh man, Denver.
Could be a blessing.
I was feeling them.
This could be a blessing in disguise because they're gonna unleash light skin. Unleash light skin now. You got no other choice but to unleash light skin.
Yeah. Yeah, but he still got to prove it, and that's why I'm like. He been playing. He's got to make a believer out of me before he puts fear into my heart. I think it's a collision course between the Lakers and the Nets.
Let me ask you this question real quick, and I know we're just talking about teams. I'm not just talking about teams. You the Lakers, and there's one person you fear the most that steps in your gym. Who's that one person?
Joel Embiid?
No, in the West. I'm talking about in the West.
Oh, in the West?
Yeah. One person steps in
One person that steps in my gym. If I'm the Lakers in the West, that strikes the most fear. It's probably Steph.
Which is crazy because he ate like a knife seed. The one
person Steph. He's the one person. Like there's nobody else that's that big of a threat. Night in and night out. No.
I can say Dame, maybe. Dame, close to it.
Yeah, but Dame can go. Dame, when he's cold, he's cold, man.
Yeah,
but the fact that Portland, with all of that they do have, is struggling all of a sudden. Like I don't get it.
They don't fear that Portland team.
It's weird. This is weird, right? I've never heard anyone say that Portland is better without CJ, even though this year the record is probably better without CJ.
I agree. I'm with you. They don't.
I've never heard anyone say it, but this year the record is probably better without CJ because they were climbing.
They were balling.
The standings, and then CJ came back. And all of a sudden, they started to slide.
They only 6 games above 500 or something like that. Like 7 games above 500. I'm with you. But yeah, the crazy thing is that the person that strikes the most fear, almost any person in the West, in the play-in tournament.
Yeah, he's probably going to be in the play-in. And let's just be real. And that's really only because the Pelicans are underachieving.
Yep.
Let's be real. That team, I was expecting them to be much better than they are. Shout out to the Knicks, man. They're looking good.
Listen, we're gonna get to our another joint, but I'm gonna say this: for everybody who knocked Tom Thibodeau, that man can coach. Let's be real, bro. He can coach.
I knocked him.
Yeah, me too.
I knocked him, and again, I'm not gonna say. His success record is a success record. He wasn't like he wasn't successful in Chicago. He wasn't like he wasn't successful in Minnesota. The thing is, can he sustain it? Because he has the tendency to wear his body down.
Tom Thibodeau is,
which is why I think he's a great defensive coordinator and not a good head coach.
He is a spurt coach. Like. You give him 4 years. Like Tom Thibodeau is not going to coach your whole team for 10 years. Tom Thibodeau is like a college coach, where you give him players for 4 years. He's gonna get them the most out of them. He gonna wear them down. Then he needs to replenish. You know what I mean? He's not going to he ain't gonna have Julius Randle for 10 years because Julius Randle gonna get more. Now, one person he probably could have coached for 10 years is Jimmy Butler because you can't wear that man down. You can't wear him down. He one person that you could have coached for him for probably 10 years. And maybe Julius Randle the same way. But
Yeah.
Coach Tibbs, shout out to Tibbs, man. He's doing this thing.
He's a tough-minded coach. You know what I mean? And which is why things happened the way they happened in Minnesota. But
they were just off.
These guys seem to buy in right now. Now, will they continue to buy into that culture? And I don't know the culture. I don't know how Tibbs is doing things, if he's doing things different in New York than he did in his previous stops, that he learned something from him. Right. I don't know. But he's getting the best out of them. And I'm telling you right now, I don't even think we're seeing the best out of them.
I don't think so either. I think RJ Barrett has another gear. I think Julius Randle is another gear as far as leadership. And the crazy thing is that they aren't a complete team yet.
Yeah, I'm thinking like the backcourt can be upgraded. I think Obi Toppin is still you know what I mean? He's still young, developing. Like you don't know what you're gonna get out of him. This next team, man, I think they've got a good core of guys that they can build around and make some noise in the future, man.
I agree.
If the owner isn't stupid.
Oh well. Anyway, on to the next thing. I want to do this because you shout out Tibbs. I want to shout out Nate McMillan, man. All
of a sudden, the Hawks is good.
All you do is win.
No matter where you go.
We see where he left Indiana and where they are. You see where Atlanta was before he took over as the head coach. He became the head coach. You see where they are now, 4 seed. Show my man Nate McMillan love. All right, let's get to this, John. Did the Niners move up to take Mac Jones? That'd be the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Now listen, me and you talked about it extensively on this show. We are high on Mac Jones. I like Mac Jones. I think he's a ready now quarterback. But the ceiling for every other quarterback that's ahead of him is higher. And we talked about it on here. Mac Jones, is he better than Jimmy G? Maybe. Maybe he's better than Jimmy G. But is he that much better than Jimmy G? Is he different from Jimmy G? Jimmy G's on 28.
Why did you move up to get a guy you probably could have got where you were at? Because I think them moving up and saying that they were interested in him is what's making his stock rise.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think his stock was on the rise until they moved up and then they said they were interested in him. So I don't know. I don't understand why you would do that. If you wanted him, then you probably could have waited him out. But again, you're probably not going to move Jimmy. So you moved up to get a guy that's probably the same as the guy that you had that you're not really sold on. And then you're still not even going to get rid of the guy. So it's like you're not really sold on Mac Jones at the same time as you're not sold on Jimmy G, because you would have moved Jimmy G if you were completely sold on whomever you're going to get at 3. Because I don't think you're moving up to address any other position. Like who moves up to 3 to go to get anything other than probably a quarterback? If you're moving up that high, you're probably going to go up that high to go get a quarterback, because I'm thinking about the Niners right now. I don't really think they need anything to where they need to be moving up that high other than quarterback. That's the only thing that you need to be reaching for. But I'm not reaching for a guy that I can get later on.
At 15 or 12.
Yeah, wherever they were at. 12, I think they were at 12 or something like that. They could have got him there. So to me, moving up, I just don't think that was the best course of action. if they get Mac Jones. If
it's to get Mac Jones, y'all got bamboozled. You got bamboozled because again, like you saying, nobody was talking about Mac Jones but y'all.
Yeah.
Nobody. Like and like you said, just to keep Jimmy G. So I understand when the Chiefs jumped up to get Patrick Mahomes and sat him for a year. Patrick Mahomes was a different dynamic than Alex Smith. He brought a totally different dynamic than Alex Smith. Alex Smith was a dink and dunker. He was going to be accurate. He wasn't going to lose you games, but he wasn't going to win you games. Patrick Mahomes is a big play. He's a big play quarterback. He's gonna win you games. He ain't gonna lose you games either, but he's gonna win you games. That's what you do when you trade up to get a guy and you sit a guy because he needs to develop, because you see the talent in him that guy can win us game. That guy's different than what we have on our team right now currently.
Yeah, you trade up to get Justin Fields, Trey Lance. Those are the guys you trade up to go get. A guy that is going to bring a different dynamic to your team, a guy who has a much higher ceiling. Now, don't get it twisted. I think the 49ers are still in that win now mode.
Yep.
Which is fine. Which is fine if you don't want to bring in a project quarterback. That's fine. If you don't want to bring in a project quarterback, a quarterback that's got to develop. But the guy that you were high on would have been available at 12. That's all. That's to me, that's the most important thing here, is that he would have been available at 12. I don't see anybody moving up to take Mac Jones in your place, unless unless you think Jerry sold on him or something like that. But because you never know what Jerry Jones is going to do on draft day. You never know what Jerry Jones is going to do on draft day. I was messing with somebody off topic. I was messing with somebody. I was like, man, you don't know, man. Jerry Jones might want to go get Kyle Pitts. He might be that sold on Kyle Pitts.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you what's crazy. I heard a report that said if he is there, they're thinking about taking him. And I also saw a scout that said they need a tight end. We saw last year. What did they take? They took CeeDee Lamb when they needed the corner.
Mm-hmm.
This year, if Kyle Pitts is there,
Kyle Pitts he'd be gonna have that star on his helmet.
If Kyle Pitts is there, he is going to be a Dallas Cowboy.
He's going to be a Dallas Cowboy without doubt.
There's
not a doubt in my mind. If Kyle Pitts is available, he is going to Dallas. I don't care who. The next Deion Sanders could be on the board. If Jerry Jones is sold on Kyle Pitts
could be a Cowboy.
Kyle Pitts is going to be a Cowboy.
So, yeah. But wrapping up this Mac Jones point, I'm with you. To get Mac Jones is to get Jimmy Garoppolo again. Maybe a more accurate Jimmy Garoppolo who's not going to turn the ball over. But at the same point, he just doesn't bring anything different than what Jimmy. I think Jimmy Garoppolo is probably a better athlete than Mac Jones. You know what I mean? I just don't know if he brings anything different to the table other than I don't have to pay him big money for 4 years. And this could be my guy, and I could build. But you also don't got to pay Justin Fields, who has a bigger arm than Mac Jones, who's more mobile than Mac Jones, you ain't got to pay Trey Lance, who you can sit behind Jimmy Garoppolo for a year, and he has the higher upside. He has the highest upside in this whole draft to me out of any of the quarterbacks because he has a cannon arm. Just think his comp. Like when I look at his comp is Josh Allen, but he's faster than Josh Allen, and we see what Josh Allen turned into right now. So like, I don't know what Mac Jones comp is. Matt Ryan, Mac Jones comp is Matt Ryan, but I'd rather have Josh Allen or Matt Ryan. I'd rather have Josh Allen. So, yeah. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I think it'd be dumb.
Yeah, it don't make sense to me to move up for Mac Jones.
Yep. All right. Let's finish it off, man. Honoring the late great DMX. Sad my man passed away last week. I think I had this debate with I had this kind of not debate, but this conversation with Damon before. When Big and Pac died, there was a huge void in hip hop. Huge void. Who was going to take up that mantle? Who was going to take up the mantle to be the guy? And to me, two people stepped up. One of them stepped up to the point where, like, his run, his little stretch was one of the greatest we've ever seen. And that's X. When he took up that mantle, bruh, and he came out and he dropped "It's Dark and Hell is Hot," or was it "Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood"? He dropped 3 albums in 1998. I can't remember which one, but I think
It's dark. It's Dark and Hell is Hot was his first. His first.
album.
And then it was Flesh of My Flesh,
Blood of My Blood. When he dropped "It's Dark and Hell is Hot," bruh, it was like nothing. Like Reasonable Doubt. That thing, I think Reasonable Doubt came in '96. I want to believe. I want to say.
Yep.
Because I think It's Dark and Hell is Hot dropped in 1998.
Volume 2.
Yeah, came with So that was on par with Volume 2. X was the guy. X was the guy for me in 1998 and like you said, a lot of people say at one point he was better than Jay-Z. I'm not saying that, but at one point in his stretch, people will say he was the #1 rapper in the game.
He was definitely on the same level as Jay, for sure. Now, people can debate whether or not he was hotter than Jay, better than Jay, but he was definitely on par with Jay. That's for sure. He could definitely hold his own. X, I remember the first time I heard X, and it was Money, Power, Respect. And it was the bark. You know what I mean? When he barked and to start his verse, it just got your attention. Like he was like, who is this guy? And he just came with it. But it was his energy, but it was his openness, man. You know what I mean? He was willing to tell it all. And you know what I mean, really peel the layers of his, of himself and through his music. And then what's crazy is, that after the day that he died, there were so many people on my timeline that posted pictures that they took with him personally. And I was like, man, that was the type of guy that he was. Like, if he seen you in the streets, he was going to give you time. And that was just something that people was just known, that he was just known for. Like, he was he was a people person. So I think that is his legacy more than rap. That he was just a real guy. He was just a genuine, real person. More than a rapper. He was just a genuinely good person.
People gravitated to him, like, and people gravitated because of what you said. Like his openness, his realness. Like even in albums, you saw realness. Like like he identified as a Christian. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of times, a lot of people who say Christian or they claim to be a Christian or like that, they think that I'm perfect. Like I'm Christian, I can't cuss, I can't do this, I can't. But for me, that's not what the walk is about. You feel me? It's about love. You know what I mean? And forgiveness and really being real about your struggles. That's who he was, and that's why I think a lot of people gravitated to it because he was real about his struggles. He was real about his love for what he believed in, but he also really real about the struggles that he was facing, the things that he was going through. He opened up and allowed you to see both sides. Like this is who I love. That I love God, but I love I love drugs. I love like I love these. I have these personalities to you catch me at one point, I could be praying for you, but if you catch me on another day, I can choke the hell out of you. So like, and I think that's real. Like you catch me on the right day, I'll be praying for you, forgive you. You know what I mean, but you catch me on another day, I
I'm
might,
not turning the other cheek.
I might, and that's really real, man. Like, and that's what a lot of people gravitate to because that's the struggle of everybody. That's the struggle of almost everybody. Like nobody's a perfect person. Like I don't curse, you know what I mean? But I'm not gonna knock somebody else who curses because that's a struggle. That's not your that cursing is not my thing, but I might struggle in another area. He was real about who he was, where he was, what he did, like and like you said, he touched so many lives. Like I watched a video clip. I don't know if you put it up or not, but I watched a video clip where it was in concert. That thing was packed, sold out. It was outside, packed, sold out. Everybody knew his. Everybody knew his song. Everybody was singing a song. Everybody barked like he barked. You know what I mean? Like, and like people was out there, white, black, Asian, like every ethnicity was out there. He is somebody where, like, no matter what religion you are, no matter what race you are, no matter what political party you are, he gave something to everybody, for everybody. That's what it was. And like that's not his music. That's outside of his music. That's the type of person he gave his all to everybody, and you've seen that.
Yeah, man. You was talking about his personalities, and "Stop Being Greedy" is one of my favorite X songs, man. And that was it because I remember the first time I heard it, I was like, "Is that two different people?" And then you know what I'm saying, and I'm like, "Nah, that's just him and doing, you know what I mean, just throwing his voice like is two different personalities battling against each other, you know." And it was just real. Like that's your everyday struggle. Like you have to make those choices of, am I gonna go with the bad decision or am I gonna go with the good decision? Like it reminded me of those, shows back in the '90s all the time where you had the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the both, but they both in your ears. But and that's real. That's what you go through every day. And to see a guy actually depict that through his music and then through a video was crazy.
It's crazy what you said is, I think that in one of his songs on the album Damien, where he had that, he's talking to
The demon.
talking to the devil, and he's talking to the good. Like that is life. That's life. You're gonna have those decisions. And talking about biblical, I mean, the Bible says you got to buffet the flesh every day. You know what I mean, because that's the devil side of it. You know what I mean. So that's what he was doing. X is doing that. You know what I mean. He's talking to his flesh, and yeah, I mean the good side. And the good side of him every day. That was his battle. Like you can see him. Yeah, I mean, I saw a video where he was with gospel artists. Yeah, I mean, and they loved him. Yeah, I mean, adored him just as much as hip hop artists, because that's he appealed to both sides. He appealed to humanity. He appealed to who people are, the people struggles. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was something that appealing to me. On top of him being a lyricist, you know what I mean, a great artist. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
I got a question for you, wrapping it up. You know what I mean? Is not because he died or passed away, but just based off of who he was. If he was still alive now, is he on the Mount Rushmore?
Mount Rushmore of hip hop?
Yeah.
X?
Yeah.
No.
When he passed away, man, that whole week I played X songs.
2000. He could be on the Mount Rushmore. Man, I don't even know because like you think about it, he came in late '90s, or is he '90s? Is he really early 2000s? Like I don't know, but Mount Rushmore, no. He had a great run and a great impact, but I wouldn't put him on Mount Rushmore.
The Mount Rushmore is 4, right? It's not 5. So 4, top 4, no. I wouldn't put him in top 4. But does X crack my top 5?
Does he go? We can even just take this. Is he Mount Rushmore of New York? I'd probably say no.
Yes. Because just based off what we were talking about with Jordan, right? Impact. X is
Dude,
crazy.
I understand that. So who's your Mount Rushmore of New York? Then I have to ask.
So I got, of course, you got Jay.
Mm-hmm.
I always struggle with Nas, but I'm gonna put Nas in there. Of course, you might
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna get killed for this. I am.
You're not putting Big on there, huh? Okay.
Like I said, I'm gonna get killed for it, but
Okay, you're not putting Big on there. All right.
I'm gonna put X ahead of Big.
Okay.
And
who's your fourth then?
This one I put Big on there. I put Big on there, but I'm gonna put X as well.
Okay.
Because X impact was just as big as Big's, in my opinion.
Whew.
Because
Big brought the East Coast back, man.
I know, but Big's for me, I think Big was what 90. He what Big guy 96. So it was like
97.
97. So like 1990, Big had like a 4-year window, 3-4 year window. So it was short, and it was great. X's impact as well was, I'm not gonna say it was a 3-4 year window. It was short.
About 3-4 years, 5 at the most. By 03, X was falling off.
Let me pull up his album real quick.
About 03, X is not banging in the G Unit era.
Okay.
He had a banger. He might have had a banger or two, but he wasn't banging in the G Unit. Now we're getting in the G Unit South era. DMX isn't banging in the G Unit South, and then in the South era.
Okay, 03 was Grand Champ. That's his
yeah.
album.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's the beginning. That's the beginning of the end.
Yeah, that's the
beginning of the end of his run.
Where the Hood at? Okay. Yeah, I don't see no more hits on this. I don't see no more dog out. I don't know who knows what that is.
See, for me, if I'm gonna do a Mount Rushmore of New York, I can't do a Mount Rushmore of New York without having at least one guy.
Oh, hold on. I forgot. I'm sorry. I forgot somebody that I didn't put on the Mount Rushmore. I don't care what era you in. I didn't put him on there, and I do apologize. Rakim.
Okay. I was getting ready to say, I'm like, there's got to be a guy for it. I don't care who you put on there. You can go if you go with Run, you can go with Rakim. I think you can't. It's hard to do a Mount Rushmore of New York. It really is, because you got so many dope MCs. Like Chris, KRS-One. Like I can't. I don't know how. Like, it's hard to not put him on there.
I would put X over him.
You put X over KRS-One.
I would. And again, I like KRS-One. It's just impact, man. Impact for me.
If we're gonna talk about impact, I can't put X over Run.
See, lyrics. See, I think X is a more.
See, and then you're gonna go with and then you're gonna go to lyrics. Then you're gonna go to lyrics. You're gonna say X is more lyrical. But if we're gonna go lyrical and impact, I can't put him over. I can't put X over Jay.
No, not over Jay.
Nas.
Not over Nas.
Big. You can't, man. You
So
going the East Coast back.
top three, I'm gonna say this. Top three
Yeah.
right now is X,
You want the East Coast back.
and I'm gonna tell you this. X, I'm not X. Big, Kara, not Kara, so Rakim, and for me, Nas is shaky, but I do put Nas in there because of like longevity, lyrically.
See, to me, Nas is shaky. Nas is shaky because Jay's told us Nas was shaky. That's the real reason. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Us people that are huge Jay-Z fans, we not Nas because Jay not Nas. Let's be real.
Okay.
If we're honest with ourselves, Nas had he really has two chapters of his career. He has the pre Jay-Z beef, and then he has the post Jay-Z beef. And I think he has really good albums in both. I think Nas should be on the Mount Rushmore. I don't think it's a question.
I think I put him on there. But let me ask you this question: who has more classics, Nas or X?
More classic what?
Albums.
Nas. X only got two. He only has two. It's the first two. Like, we have to be real about ourselves.
Like I said,
after the first two, it's no more classics from X. It's some bangers on his albums, but there's no more classics after the first.
Okay, I agree with you on that. Nas, let me ask you: Does Nas have two classics?
Easily, he has two classics. Nas has at least four.
At least four.
Absolutely.
Y'all know how I feel about Illmatic. So,
Stillmatic is a classic. Stillmatic's a classic. Stillmatic is a classic. To me, it's debatable, but I would say it was written. It's a classic.
It is written as a good album. Stillmatic. Okay. I might give Nas 4 because people are gonna say Illmatic is a classic.
Now, everything after Jay-Z, I didn't really get into Nas like that. After the Jay-Z beef, I didn't get into Nas like that because I was into other artists. It wasn't just because I thought Nas was trash. I just got into other artists. But I was still dabbling into Nas every now and again. But I like Lost Tapes. I like Godson. After that, I don't know any of Nas albums.
You got Nasir, he got Ken's Disease, you got a couple, whatever. Anyway, okay, so I'll give you Nas props. We got four classics. So okay, all right.
And then for me, my fourth, I got Big. Give me Jay. Give me Nas. And then for me, I don't think hip hop never becomes hip hop without Run DMC. And I'm gonna give them, and I'm gonna put the whole group on the Mount Rushmore because I'm gonna put the whole group on there because when you talk about impact and the commercialization of rap music, it does not happen without Run DMC. It doesn't. It does not happen without Run DMC. Like there was probably doper MCs than them, like Melly Mel and Cowboy. Like those guys are probably better rappers. You know what I mean? But the commercialization of what we now know as hip hop started with Run DMC. So I'm gonna put them on there just because of that.
Yeah.
Were there better MCs? Were there better rappers? Yes. But when you talk about where we are now with hip hop, that started with Run DMC.
Yeah. The more we talk about this, the more people will change up. But again, maybe because X is passed. And that's why I put him in there. But X run, like I said, that 2-3 year run, he could live off of those. After 98, X didn't have to make another album. He would have lived off of that.
He could have lived off of As Dark as Hell Is High and Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood. Those were two, like, nobody had done that before. I think 2 albums within same year.
I think it's like
both of them were like multi-platinum.
Yeah,
that's tough to do.
Yeah.
The only issue was after that
he should have waited. He should actually. You should have gave us As Dark as Hell Is High.
But I also didn't knock him because his he was battling a lot.
Mhm.
You know what I mean, between his personal life and he was trying to be an actor.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So he was torn between a lot of different things. So something had to suffer, and I believe that he didn't have the same hunger for the music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He still had the same passion for it, but I don't think he had the same hunger for it.
Oh, you put Big on your Mount Rushmore, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right. I'm with you. It's tough to do New York.
It's hard. It's tough to do New York. You're gonna leave off so many guys. If you're picking 4 guys from New York, you're gonna leave off so many guys.
You gotta do boroughs.
You literally have to do boroughs because people could say pun. I wouldn't have no argument if people said pun. I'm like, man, go ahead, whatever. Who you taking off? Okay, that's cool. Whatever, you can take him off and put pun on there. I'd have no issue with it.
Yo, I was legit like, yo, where do you put pun?
No, I would have no issue with it at all. If you want to take a Wu-Tang member and put one on there, I don't even care which one. I wouldn't have no problem because I feel like
I do care which one, but
no, because I feel like it's just gonna be a representation of Wu because that group's impact as well.
Yeah.
Crazy. If you want to put Kiss on there, I got no problem with you wanting to put Jadakiss on there.
I do.
I know. Lyrically,
Kiss on any
lyrically,
more
lyrically,
okay. So lyrically, okay. But
maybe he didn't have the commercial success of all these other guys, but lyrically, it wasn't too many that could see him.
I got you, but as far as Mount Rushmore, I need a total package. You can't just be like, all right, lyrically. I need a total package. Now, Kiss was a monster. Now, Kiss had hits. Kiss had albums.
Well, let's take a better version of Kiss. You want to talk about commercial success? Fab. Okay, you fine. That's fine.
But I'm still ain't put Fab on there either. But woo,
that's still fine.
Fab, my guy too. Listen, yeah, New York, crazy man. New York,
it's too many. It's too many of them.
New York, listen,
it's too many of them.
I'm saying looking at 50 right now. Like
again, I didn't even want to bring him up because people that know me would have been like, "You being biased," because I'm a huge 50 fan. So I didn't even want to bring him up. But his run again, just like other ones, his run was very short. But the impact.
I'm gonna throw
he had people all around the globe talk about G Unit.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw somebody else out there, and I don't want to hear no slack from nobody. But this man run as well was great. His name is Ja Rule. He's another person from New York. That's all I'm saying. Listen, Ja Rule run.
He had the commercials. He had greater commercial success than a lot of people.
Yep.
He had great commercial success.
Every summer, that man, you know he was gonna have a hit. Every summer, Ja Rule was gonna have a hit. Everybody's gonna play it in their car.
I'm gonna throw out another name.
Good.
LL.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna throw another name out. LL. So, yeah, New York is crazy.
New York is too tough, man.
And one of the persons that is always gonna get love for Mount Rushmore, but he didn't have an album and he didn't have a lot of the success that a lot of people would want him to have because he passed away.
Big
L. But he always gonna get mentioned. New York is just crazy, like you said. New York crazy.
There's too many of them, man.
Yeah, New York is crazy, man. I'm
way too many.
Styles P, like New York crazy.
Way too many. It's way too many of them, man.
Right.
And we were just talking about the males.
Yep.
Because you can't tell me that Queen Latifah and MC Lyte didn't have just as much of an impact. Lil' Kim, they didn't have just as much of an impact on the hip hop culture as any male from New York.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you said MC Lyte, Lil' Kim,
yeah,
Fox, all of them. Like when I think
of Latifah from Jersey, but whatever.
Yeah, but
Jersey, New York, same thing.
Yeah, because
I apologize. No, it's not. I apologize. No, it's not.
It's not. But in the scheme of
hip hop, they get grouped together for some reason.
They'll get grouped together. because Redman from Jersey too, but scheme of hip hop they're going.
And that's a guy that doesn't get a lot of.
Yeah.
He doesn't get the respect that he truly deserves. As a guy, his running mate gets more respect than him, and I think that he's way doper than him.
You think? Oh, you
I
think
think
Red is way doper than
way
Meth?
doper than Meth. Way doper than Meth.
I gotta go listen to some of their albums again now.
Way dope. Redman's consistency has been way superior to Method Man's consistency throughout their careers.
You
And
think Meth?
Method Man has the charisma, and he's a ladies' man, and then he's a movie star. So we put him on a higher pedestal than we do Redman, who I think is a way better MC than Method Man. I'm not saying Method Man is trash, but I think Method Man is at his best when he's with the Wu or with Red. His solo stuff to me don't be that great.
That's what I was gonna ask you. Do you think that he gets idolized because he was the face of Wu?
He became the star of Wu, and then he became a movie star. So I think, but I don't really think Method Man. I don't think Method Man is better than Red at all. I don't even think it's close.
I gotta go listen to the albums now. We gotta do a show on all this hip hop stuff now. We gotta bring our hip hop segments back now because I'm sitting here thinking about Atlanta rappers. You know what I mean, like
there's only one GOAT of Atlanta.
You think so? Only one GOAT?
Absolutely. You're talking about lyrically. There's only one. That's 3 Stacks. 3 Stacks is the greatest rapper to come out of Atlanta. Lyricist is 3 Stacks.
Okay.
You want to talk about music and impact and everything? It's too many of them because so many different eras. You can talk about T.I. probably for us, but then you're gonna talk about these other groups. You're gonna talk about Gucci and his run. You're gonna talk about Future and his run. Like there's a lot of them. I'm just saying. There's just a lot of Atlanta rappers. But if you're talking, there is only one GOAT as far as lyrically.
Yeah, lyrically, okay, I give you that.
And that's 3 Stacks. Nobody can touch 3 Stacks out of Atlanta lyrically. Lyrically, I don't think there's anybody close. Like other places you can make arguments.
Ooh, I'm sitting looking. I just pulled up the list. Well, one, I'm gonna say this. Where do we put Luda?
As far as what?
Because Luda's not born in Atlanta, but
he's from Chicago. But he made his name in Atlanta, so he's an Atlanta rapper.
Okay,
I'll give him that.
All right, so
but he's still not in the realm of 3 Stacks lyrically.
Tears. Okay, so we're gonna go Tears because we were talking about Mount Rushmore, and I guess again we'll do a show on this that we'll be here all day. But when we talk about Tears, okay, you got 3 Stacks. Point guard
by himself. Yes.
Maybe lyrically, yes, 3 Stacks.
Lyrically by himself.
Lyrically, nobody's touching 3 Stacks in Atlanta. Lyrically, but I'm talking about Mount Rushmore complete. Yeah, we're gonna have to do this because I'm looking at Jeezy and his impact. I just scrolled through and I'm looking. Another face that popped up to be Lil Jon. I know Lil Jon is not a quote unquote rapper, but we would consider a good rapper.
I'm not putting Lil Jon in there. I'm not putting Lil Jon on no Mount Rushmore.
No,
Lil Jon, because Lil Jon, his music has resulted in a lot of people's heads getting stomped in. He's got a lot of clubs shot up. So I'm not. I can't condone that. So
I'm not putting Lil Jon into no Mount Rushmore. But I'm saying, like you said, the impacts. Jeezy.
See, and that's one thing that we could get one. That's a show that we could do because trap music.
Mm-hmm.
There's to me there's a number of different eras at this point, but all of that to me is Atlanta music. It's just different eras of Atlanta music. But the biggest one, in my opinion, the biggest debate has always been Gucci versus Jeezy.
I don't think there's debate in my opinion.
Because you're a Jeezy fan.
The reason I say this is because when Jeezy was on, and again we'll do the show, but when Jeezy was on top, right? Where was Gucci? Gucci was locked up. He came in. Jeezy came in, and I guess because Jeezy ushered it in. He started it. He also has hits in it. He also transcended from trap to commercial. Like, not saying that Gucci doesn't have great music. I mean, trap music, but Jeezy was the one that ushered it in and has longevity. Like, Gucci is more relevant now. Jeezy's been doing this for a while.
I feel you.
So that's why I say,
I'm a Jeezy fan too. I'm not a big Gucci guy. I think I'm going to ready to be 100. I think Gucci is absolute trash. I think he's absolute trash. Does he make hot music? Yes, he makes hot music, but that doesn't mean he's not killing anything lyrically. He's not blowing anybody's mind, but he make hot stuff. But I think he's trash.
I think once we get past, again, like I said, I keep saying we'll do the show, but once we start getting past T.I. and Street Stacks and Luda and Jeezy, I think all these Atlanta rappers make good music, but they all trash because I don't know what the heck they be talking about. Bro, I don't 21 Savage, I don't know what you're talking about. Lil Yachty, what are you talking about? But anyway, wrap it up, bro, because I gotta freaking eat. I gotta still get ready on that way. But yeah. Final thoughts. My final thought is based on what we talk about with X. Give people their roses while they are still alive. I know we talk about this a lot. When people pass and stuff like that, but when X died, there was a lot of people listening to DMX's albums and stuff like that, just paying their respects and stuff like that. I don't think there's nothing wrong with doing that. Just honoring somebody when they pass away. You honor people when they pass away in your family all the time. You can not see somebody for years, they pass away, and now you start bringing up memories. Like I remember. Yeah, I mean, but what I want to say is that let's stop doing that. Let's stop wasting time, not spending time with loved ones and stuff like that. Start, reaching out to loved ones while they're alive. Yeah, I mean, stop just showing up to family reunions. Yeah, I mean, stop letting family reunions be funerals. Yeah, I mean, get people alive.
Agree, bro. My final thought is on this police stuff. We got to keep going on and on. And it's just this simple. The police they're a gang, just like any other gang. And all gangs have a no snitching clause. So they're not going to snitch on each other. Like, I know we keep wanting these good cops to step up. They're not. They have a job, and they're not. It's gonna be hard for them to work anywhere, knowing that they snitched on one of their fellow police officers. I think the young lady that stopped somebody from beating up she stopped another police officer. She's a police officer herself. She stopped another police officer from choking or beating up some suspect or something like that. And they were trying to fire her and not give her a pension. So there's unwritten rules that you can't snitch on your fellow police officers. So until that changes within the police culture, you're not going to see good cops or whatever you want to call them step up, because there's no incentive, and it's not worth losing everything. So we can't keep waiting for them, or it's not going to happen at this point. It's not. Move on from that. Stop expecting it.
Good point, bro. Hey, another one following up. It's not a final thought, but I want to shout out his name now. Councilman, who we just had him on show on Wednesday.
Jeff
Jeff.
Benson.
He got his vote on yesterday. Don't know if it all came back. I don't know if I have any more information on that.
He did. Unfortunately, he did lose. He had a good showing, but he did fall short. So we'll see what the next course of path is for him. So, but shout out to Jeff, man. He ran a great campaign, and good luck to whatever he's got going on in his future.
And we support him. Speak on it. He always have a spot on Speak on it. Speak on Family. Always support him. So yeah, keep doing your thing, Jeff. We appreciate it. But moving forward, if y'all like the show, make sure y'all follow, like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, as well as follow us on our Facebook page. Our link tree is in the bio. So if you ever want to do a show, sports related, hip hop, with cultural awareness, what you got going on, make sure you DM us or inbox us. Just to be on the show, debate us or anything like that. We like the debates. We like to talk sports. We like to talk anything that is relevant to our culture. But until next time, I'm going to holler at y'all. Speak on it.
Peace.